Okay, learning target 5. We're talking about writing equations of circles, but here's the problem. So far, all the equations for circles you've written have been relatively simple. They either give you the center or the radius, or they give you the center and enough information to find the radius, or they give you information to find the center and the radius, so you could write it in standard form. Or like in learning target 3, you got an equation in general form, and then you rewrote it using completing the square and got the standard form equation. No, that's been that bad. The problem is in this one they give you 3 points that are on the circle. But that does not mean they're a diameter. It doesn't mean anything. It's just 3 points on the circle. Okay? So you can't just like find the center of the point. It doesn't work that way. You have 3 random points. So what we're going to do is we're going to use general form of the equation to write a system of 3 equations. We're going to solve that in our calculator. Go back, substitute those values into the general form equation again, and then do questions like we did learning target 3 last night. So the very end, it's going to be just like we did yesterday. Yes. If you plot the points, though, you can't necessarily find the radius. Right, if it was nice and even, but just 3 points. So that's why I'm going to teach you this way just in case. Okay? So, write this down on your note sheets. I don't have it written anywhere for you. We saw this yesterday, but general form of the equation of a circle, yes, is x squared plus y squared plus dx plus dy plus f equals 0. That is general form of a circle. All right, this is what's going to happen. The first step in this, if you're going to write steps out to the side, you can. The first step in this is we need to write 3 equations. We're going to do that by substituting in the xy coordinates in for all the xy's 3 separate times, so we get 3 equations. Okay? So, first equation. I have 1 squared plus 3 squared plus 1d plus 3e plus f equals 0. Everyone know where that stuff came from? It's just that first point I substituted for all the x and y's. Okay, I want to put it in the same format that those when we tried a second on the calculator were in. I want the d, e, and f on one side, and I want the constants on the other side. So 1 squared is 1, and 3 squared is 9, right? So 1 plus 9 is 10. So 10 plus 1d plus 3e plus f equals 0. And I want to subtract 10 because I want the constant on the other side. So that's my first equation. Everyone see where that came from? Okay, well the other 2, I'm not going to write out all the steps. You don't have to write all the steps, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to put the other 2 points into the general form equation, then rewrite it in this way. So I'm just going to say it out loud. Okay? Yeah, so the next one would be 5 squared, which is 25, plus 5 squared, which is 25. So I have plus 50, so I'm going to subtract that. It's going to be a negative 50 on the other side. Then I'll have 5d plus 5e plus f. So I substituted the 5 coordinate into that general form without doing all the work.
What is f equal?
What does f equal?
What is f representing?
D, E, and F are all constants. We just don't know what they are yet.
So f is the last problem?
F is the last variable in this case.
What is the f variable representing?
When we get to that part, I think it'll understand. We have to solve for it first before we do anything.
Okay. So we solve it when you solve for one coordinate, we get the formula for all of them.
Yeah, we have to have a formula for all 3.
We what? what?
We have to have the equation for all three coordinates.
Oh, the 10 topic.
Yes. All right, so then the last one, 5 squared is 25, 3 squared is 9, 25 plus 9 is 34. So I'll have a negative 34 because I subtract that to the other side. And I have 5d plus 3e plus f. That's my third equation. 34. Okay, some things to note in case you haven't noticed. The number on the right-hand side of the equation should always, and will always be in this case, negative. Because you're squaring two numbers, those are positive. When you add together positive, if you're subtracting it, you're always going to have a negative over there. For f, this is 1f, so when you're going to use that in your equation, the f's are always going to, that coefficient-wise is going to be 1 when you put it in your calculator. Okay, always. So the only thing that's really going to change in your matrix are the d and e coefficients. Yeah, so now once we have a system of three equations, we can go back and we can use reduced row echelon form in our calculators so we know what d, e, and f is. And then I'll show you what we need to do with that. So I need to know what d equals, I need to know what e equals, I need to know what f equals. So we're going to use a calculator. So you can go back to your matrix menu. You can just write over the one you had before. It's a 3 by 4 matrix, just type over it. That's fine. So I have 1, 3, 1, negative 10, 5, 5, 1, negative 50, 5, 3, 1, negative 34. And we just use reduced row echelon form. Hopefully those are the numbers you're going to get. Yes. Yeah, negative 6, negative 8, and 20 is what you should get. Anyone not get negative 6, negative 8, and 20? We good? Okay. We're like halfway through the problem now. There's not that many homework problems, I promise. All right, now that we have D, E, and F, I can go back and use the general form. I'm ignoring everything else that I've done already. Like all this stuff was important to do in the calculator, but now it doesn't matter anymore. Okay, now I know what D, E, and F equal, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go back and fill out general form. I'm going to leave the X and Y's there. And we're going to have an equation that's in general form that looks like the ones we did last night. X squared plus Y squared minus 6x minus 8y plus 20 equals 0.
This is learning target 3.
Right. Now that I have an equation in general form, this is just learning target 3. That's what you did yesterday. You rewrite it, complete the square, write the standard form of the equation. That's what it's asking for, the standard form.
Is the general form always that?
Yes. So I'm going to go about doing the same way I did yesterday. I'm going to separate everything so I can complete the square and be all organized.
So we need to write this.
So I have x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 8y equals negative 20. So that f is just that constant that just needs to be moved.
Oh, we're splitting them up.
Yeah. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3, and negative 3 squared is 9. So I'm adding 9 here and 9 here. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4, and negative 4 squared is 16. So I'm adding 16 and 16. Everyone knows what we're doing from yesterday. So I get x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared. And that equals 5. Negative 20. plus 9 plus 16. Don't forget to add the constants to both sides. Okay, the question asks for the standard form. We have that. And then it says, then identify the center and the radius. That's not hard. What is the center of this circle? 3, 4. And what's the radius of this circle? The square root of 5. Remember, this is r squared. So, yeah. So this part, I took my time on it for this first example, but really you don't have to show any work. You just need to write the equations. You can do most of that in your head/calculator to write that out. Once you have those 3 equations, the next part you just do in your calculator. So that's like no work at all. Once you have D, E, and F, you substitute it back into general form, and then you just have a learning target 3 problem. I'm sure we had to get somewhere to get to the learning target 3 question. Do I need to do the other example on the page? We good?